Feel emotional about these animals and the unnecessary suffering you put them through. They take these pigs, and a pig a pig has a good brain, and it's a feeling animal. And they take these animals and for no reason, I say no reason, put them in these gestation crates now. They didn't used to do it 20, 30 years ago. We've become worse, not better. It's almost sadistic. It's not that I'm picking a fight with McDonald's, because McDonald's is not a company that we own stock in. We own 100 shares. So it's not that we own stock in it or trying to make a profit there. But over the years, I don't do much about it. But for one reason or another, I really do feel emotional about these animals and the unnecessary suffering you put them through. They take these pigs, and a pig a pig has a good brain, and it's a feeling animal. And they take these animals and for no reason, I say no reason, put them in these gestation crates now. They didn't used to do it 20, 30 years ago. We've become worse, not better. It's almost sadistic. You put them in this crate for its whole life. A crate where the pig can't move. It just can't move around. And they could easily not do it. So 10 years ago, my daughter worked for the Humane Society. And she called me up and said, look, and she knows I hate to see a suffering of animals. I was fourth in my regiment in the Army shooting a rifle. So I'm a good shot. I get invited to go hunting. I never went hunting in my life. I just hate to see suffering for no reason. And I'm not trying to be holier than thou or sanctimonious, but I said, hey, wait a minute. That's terrible what goes on, and they won't call you back. So they said, they'll call me back. So I called the CEO back. I said, they're going to call me. And they called me up, and then I discussed it with them. We said, Mr. Icahn, we agree with you. Carl, CEO said, I agree with you. And we agree, we're going to try to stop this, and we will make a pledge that within 10 years, there'll be no gestation crates. The Humane Society accepted that, so I probably would have been tougher on it, but we did it. And now they just never delivered. They did a little something, but never delivered. And so they called me up again. And I was really teed off because here they had promised this, and I didn't even know that they didn't deliver or anything like that. So we're telling them, hey, look, you guys promised that you were going to not buy the trim as part of this if it means that you're buying it for those that those that produce the pigs, so to speak, in these gestation crates, or keep them in the gestation crates. So that's what's going on. And we are probably 90% there. We're putting up a slate. We're not going to fool around with them anymore. Putting up a slate and say, hey, you got to live up to your promise, and you got to do this.
You're going to wage this is important enough to you that you're willing to wage a proxy fight over it with McDonald's.
Put up a few, slate a few people and wage it. I really think, though, it's getting this story out because I think it's obscene with chickens, where they don't have to suffer. And it's almost, they're out dancing. The CEO of McDonald makes over $10 million a year. Everybody's having a party, and maybe he's operating it well. Well, why the heck can't you just do something? And they say they will pay a premium for it if it's not done in a gestation crate, in fairness to them. And we are talking to them. And we intend to do it in other areas where there's unnecessary animal suffering. I didn't realize how bad it was myself until my daughter really showed it to me. She's a vegetarian. She's into this stuff.
I'm just curious to know whether you're willing to put your money and your word and your actions behind. I just want to get a sense of what you have in mind.
We're going to fight it as much as we can. It's a movement that people now feel strongly about. And it's unnecessary to have this suffering, really unnecessary. It's not something where you could say, well, it's for the good of humanity, and we got to do. And even that is very unnecessary, all the medical testing they do. But at least there's an argument in some cases that you have to do it. Here, you don't have to keep this pig stuck in this gestation crate. You could change it. Of course, they have arguments of why they do it. But there is no argument for this suffering. It just gets you angry. The pig has to spend his whole life in this crate, or now they say they take him out for a little bit, and not be able to move. Look, the pig's going to get killed. Okay, I'm not going to holier than thou and say, well, you can't eat meat because the pig wants to live for years. But okay, the pig is killed, but doesn't have to suffer for 4 years and then get killed. It really gets me upset when we talk about it. And I'm not being sanctimonious about it. but it's something that I think I can help to some extent, ameliorate it to some extent. And I think we're gonna do it. But that doesn't take away from what I think I do best is picking these stocks and creating value for all shareholders. We create. I mean, just to digress, we created $1 trillion of value for all shareholders. I'm not going away from that.